press record, and this is going to be the most unorganized, unprofessional overtraining ever. But you guys know I don't really like to be professional anyways. So that's okay. But y'all are I'm gonna stop and butter these biscuits here in a second. Okay, so the app is called Over. It's that little yellow square with a white O in it. And it's really cool because like all these announcement posts that I've been doing in the group, like this is the last one that I did, and all I have to do, like that template is saved, all I have to do is take her picture off and change the name. So once you have it in there, it's super cool. But I've done so many things, like I do these on there, you know, when I do them for the group or whatever. Or like everybody was like, how did you curve those words? Those right there, that was in the group in Over. But okay, so when you're in Over and let me close it, and you first open it, it looks like this. So you're gonna do, what do you do? Yeah, so you're gonna click, I wasn't talking to you, baby. You're gonna click this plus in the center. And then it's going to pop up all these different options at the top. I just like to start with a white background. So I scroll over to white and choose that. And then at the bottom, it's got the templates for the shape of your photo. And it even says like, this would be an Instagram post. This would be a Facebook square. This would be a Facebook story. This would be... Don't let her in yet. I can't wash her feet off just yet. This would be a Facebook cover photo. So it's the exact right dimensions for whatever you need it to be. Okay, so I just kind of like, for what we were talking about in the group chat, for that, I like this one. It just says Facebook post. I mean, like you can choose any of them. But I'm going to choose that one. So it just pops up this. And then if you want to add your photo, you're going to click these little mountains down here and click image. So then at the top, you can go to, oh wait, not image. I'll show you guys what that is in a second. I meant to say you're going to choose, I guess you do choose image, and then scroll over at the top to photos. See right there, it's on logos. Photos is right beside that. I got to get these biscuits out of the oven. So then to choose from your camera roll, you're going to choose all photos. So then that pops up my camera roll. So if I wanted to just pick this picture of my kid picking his nose yesterday, I pop that in there, and then I can scoot it wherever I want to scoot it. I can pinch to make it bigger or whatever. So y'all play with that. I'm going to pause this recording. All right, so right now this is what we got. All I have is a picture of my kid picking his nose with nothing else on it. So remember how like I put, so if you want to like do some sort of little cool frame around it, I say, yes, that's how I want my picture. So I'm going to click this check mark. And then it's going to take me to this screen, and it's got all these options at the bottom. So if you want to add like one of those cool cell phones or just like a cool circle or anything like that, you're going to still click, no, you're going to click graphic. You see that? And then you have all these different options from the internet to choose. But if you know what you want, you can type it into the search bar. So if I said diamond, I'm going to type that in the search bar, and it pulls up all these different examples that I can use of different things that they're calling diamonds. Okay. So let me pick a good one. So let's just say I wanted to use that one over his picture, but I want it bigger. So like you can see, so I'm gonna drag it, you know. I don't know, that's not very cool. But if that's what I wanted to look at, like a spider web or something, there we go. Also, if you want to change the color of it, you can just click color down there at the bottom. So let's just say I wanted to make it black. So see, it shows up like that. So there's so many different things you can play with there. All right, I'm gonna check the check mark and say that's how I want it, although it looks really dumb. Okay, so text down at the bottom is how you're gonna add your words. So then you've got all these different fonts that you can scroll through. So I'm just gonna pick one and say, wash your hands. And I'm gonna change the color of that to green. And then I'm gonna drag it up here and make it smaller by just, you know, pinching it. So I've got wash your hands, and then I want a different type of text to say, and stay at home. So I have that one how I want it for now, but I can change it if I want to. So I'm gonna click the text box again down at the bottom. And stay at home, exclamation point. And I'm gonna use that different text. And I'm gonna put this one, change the color at the bottom, put this one in black. All right, that's way too big. Hey, Leah. So I'm gonna pinch it to make it smaller. And put it right there. So you see how that like, hold on. So I changed that to yellow so you can see the difference. Okay, so I want, yeah, that's good. And then I'm gonna say, I'm gonna do a different type of text, different type of font by clicking text. I'm gonna say, COVID-19 is real. And then I'm gonna choose a different font. Okay, let me show you something really cool. What if I wanted to use the words I just wrote? What if I wanted them the exact same shade as his shirt? So I'm gonna go to color, and then there's this little droplet. So I'm gonna click that droplet, and then this circle comes up over his picture. And I'm gonna drag that, and as I'm dragging that, let me make that bigger so you guys can see it. Let me go back to color. So as I drag that, that's changing the color of that font. So you can match it to whatever you want if you want to be all matchy-matchy like that. So this is like a really ugly picture, but you guys are getting the idea. All right, then let me show you something called layers. All right, so let's just say that it showed up like this, and you wanted the words on top of that yellow line, but you wanted that yellow line on top of your picture. Like, kind of weird. Like, how do you do that? So do you see that 3 little sheets of paper or whatever that is right there? You're going to click that, and that shows you every layer that you've added to that picture. So if you think of each layer laying on your counter, and you're stacking that based on what you want on top. So I want that yellow weird little shape on top of everything. So where's my yellow weird shape? It's right here. So I'm going to take these 3 lines and I'm going to put that on top of everything. So let me go back to my original photo so we can see what it looks like now just by tapping one of these layers. So now the yellow line is on top of everything, but still the yellow line is covering up the words. So let's go back to layers by clicking these 3 things here. And so I want the words on top of the yellow line. So I'm going to drag all the words. Can y'all see this? I'm going to drag all the words up to the top because I'm imagining all these layers laying on my counter. So now if these words were, all these layers were laying on my counter, I'd have the words on top, then the yellow line, then the picture, and the white down here is just like the backdrop. So that's how you do it. Let me look back at my, is there anything else you guys have tried to do through this that you aren't sure how to do? There's so many things you can do in here if you just play around with it. While I'm here, let me show you this as well. This templates down here. So let me make sure I'm even telling you what I want to tell you first. That's not what I want to tell you. Okay, no. So the very first screen that you come to looks like this. Oh, that's okay, Donna. I actually clicked the record button, so you'll be able to see the whole thing. So these layout collections are super cool. It's basically something that somebody's already put together that you can use. So you know how these people make these really cool stories and they like tell their story throughout it, but it all looks really cohesive and like matchy-matchy. So it might say, 6 years ago, I started this business. And then the next page might say, while I was a dental hygienist. The next page might say, and I had 3-year-old twins at home. And the next page might say, and I had 2 part-time jobs. That's my story, by the way. But you know what I'm talking about. Y'all have all seen them. So these layout collections have all that mapped out for you. So all of these beautiful pages, all you do is plug your photo in. So if I wanted to use this one, it pops up like this, and you tap the area where the picture would go, and then you put the picture in there, and then you tap down here, and they've already got the font chosen for you, and you can add whatever font, whatever story you want. If there's a layer there that you want to take away, like let's just say you don't like those lips, click the 3 papers up here or whatever they are, and then it's got it locked. So you just unlock it and then click that minus sign. So what it means when it's locked is that when you're moving all your words and pictures around, you're not going to accidentally move that. So I'm deleting the lips. I go back by touching one of the layers. And the lips are gone. So I hope that helped. Does that help you guys who were in on that chat? Does that kind of show exactly how we did that? So for me, mine, there we go. I just put, this is the one we were talking about. So, oh, you probably want to know how to do that phone. So you guys know exactly how I did that circle now, exactly how I did the words. And you see that that color I matched to the color of the door. So I showed you guys how to do that. That's the exact same color. So, all right, let me show you guys how to do that phone. So I just went to my Instagram page. And as I said earlier in the chat, I want my Instagram page, my kid's trying to get in a snack cabinet. I want this picture to just show who I am as a person and not a bunch of It Works products for this specific thing that we were doing. Oh, shoot.
You good, Mama?
Well, I'm going to have to be.
Okay.
I
I didn't know there was a head there.
There was. There was a big head there. Okay, so I have my phone set to have a black background because it saves on battery. Did you guys know that? But I think it looks better with a white background. So I actually went back and changed it to a white background before I took the screenshot. So I wanted my whole bio to show up in there, because if someone were serious about messaging me about the business, they're going to zoom in and look at that. So they would see, oh, she's a twin mom. Oh, she's got a golden doodle. Oh, she loves Jesus. Oh, she's a single mom. Oh, she's from the South. They can see all that in my bio, and they can also see pictures of what represents me. So I screenshotted that. Let me go back to over. And all right. So here is the picture that I have that I was using. So if I want to put that cell phone on there, then I'm going to click on graphic at the bottom. And in the search bar, just like before when we typed in diamond, I'm going to type in phone. So then I'm going to scroll through and find the one that I want to use. I used the black one, and it already had a picture on it, but that's okay because I'm going to put my picture over it. Let me find it. Here it is. This is the one I used right here. It's just a little cartoon phone. So it pops up, and then I'm going to pinch it to make it exactly the size I want. I don't know. It was something like that. And then I'm going to click the check mark. And then I want to go back to my camera roll because my screenshot is in there. So I'm going to click images and photos up at the top. And then there's my screenshot I took of my Instagram page. This is not going to fit perfectly. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to pinch it and try to make it fit. And it's not going to fit. So then you're going to go in and crop that. So I got to take a little bit off the top, take a little bit off the bottom, because what's happening is let me make it, I'm going to make the phone bigger. And so, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So see, it's like not going all the way to the edges, and that just looks really bad. So I need to crop a little bit off the top and the bottom so that I can then get it to do right. So crop is right down there. And then to get it to like highlight what I want it to do, I'm going to click custom. So now my little crop thing has pulled up, and I'm just going to ever so slightly take a little bit off the top, scoot that line down, and a little bit off the bottom. Maybe that'll be enough. It might not be. I'm going to click the check mark and then squinch it just a little bit bigger. You get the idea though. So I didn't take enough off because it's still showing a little bit there on the sides of that blue from underneath. But that's how you do that. Is that helpful? Maybe. So I will say, just as Donna and Brittany were saying in the group though, like this is an amazing host to post, but it still takes just as much time, consistency, and follow up even with this. And maybe even a little bit more so because these people have never seen me on Facebook before. So I immediately, with this host to post, I immediately say, you must have seen this. And I send them that picture of, you know, the completed one that looks like that, completed with my picture. And they say, yes. And sometimes they'll tell me whose page they saw it on. And I'll say, awesome. My name is Jenny Schoenfeld-Kinnemer. Who am I talking to? And it's this one. So they're looking at this while they're talking to me. And they tell me their name. And I immediately go find them and friend them. So I know who's kind of posted these business host to post for me. So that kind of helps me find them if I can't find them. And I say, awesome. I just sent you a friend request. I can't wait to fill you in. And so then I go into, what do you do now? And then they tell me what they do now. A lot of people are telling me they're out of work right now. And then I say, oh, okay, awesome. This may be a perfect fit for you. Just so you don't feel like you're talking to a stranger, let me tell you a little bit about myself. And I just say, golden doodle mom, twin mom, single mom, lover of all things crafty. And then I kind of go into a little bit about why I started this and what a blessing it's been for me. And then I say, okay, let me fill you in. And then I get to that regular flow of talking about the business. So any questions? I'm going to look at the chat. Thank you so much for sharing this. Can't wait to watch it from the beginning and take notes. Y'all can unmute yourself or type in the chat if you have any questions. Like, Did I go through that too fast? If so, we'll do it again later. But I hope it helped. I think sometimes you just got to like watch it as you're trying to do it. That'll probably help. But yeah, it's been a good one, and I didn't make this up. I can't take credit for it. I condensed a little bit of what Rachel Jones was doing with a little bit of what, who else was the other one? Ashley Renell and somebody else, and just kind of condensed them into one. And I used, gosh, I wish I could remember that girl's name. Might have been Ashley Pfluger. The wording that she puts with this, and I can give that to all of you. I used her wording. Anyways, you just kind of like copy the right cat and put together what works for you. Donna, did you unmute yourself?
I did. What about Morgan McIntyre? She's doing some good. She's doing some too. Do you follow her any?
I do follow her, but I never see her host a post, of course, because she's not posting them, and I'm not in any leadership chats with her. All these people who I got this from were just kind of sharing what was working with them and all that stuff. But I like this, and let me tell you why. The other way that I was doing it, that was just words that says, my friend Jenny is slammed, blah, 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 blah. I think I've shown you that one. It's great, and it got me so many new friends and potentials who need to make extra money, but they might or might not already have their mind open to what we do. With this, it says brand rep on it. So, and they're texting me directly. So I have my people post that, and I never touch it again. And while instead of going back and sifting through and see if anybody commented or all that, I just wait until I get a text. And I just got 2 texts right before I got on here that said info. And I know that's what it's about, because that's the only info thing that I have out right now.
Okay.
So that way I can spend my work time, doing other things instead of sifting through those posts. And I feel like I get less interest from this, but it's people who are ready, people who saw brand rep and they were like, yeah, I think I want to do that. So I've probably talked to 20 people from this, and none of them have said, oh, I thought it was a job. I thought it was like a data entry. I got that all the time before. Data entry. I don't even know. But anyway, it's worked. It's worked. Both of them work, but it's getting me a different type of people.
Right. Okay.
So,
cool.
All right. Well, I'll share this recording. So
hey, Jenny, I have a question.
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
Is Leah.
Hey.
So I have an Android, and I think I downloaded this before, but I don't know if it worked as well for me. That may not even make sense. But I know
Android's so different. I know Connect's been different for you too.
Yes, Connect is still not a big tool for me. And I hate that, but it's just I'm gonna have to dive deeper into it. It's just not been as easy. Do you have to pay extra for any of those layers that you're using, or is this all a free app?
I think I paid hey guys, can y'all go wiggle that handle? The toilet's running. I think initially when I bought it, I paid $99 for a year, but you can pay $9.99 per month and you're not locked in. There are some free features, but it was really frustrating because I saw a bunch of stuff I wanted to use and couldn't use unless I paid. So it was like $9.99 for the version that I started out on, and then I think like maybe $14 or so with the version that I'm using now for like a month. But I totally get my money's worth out of it. But you can use it for free. There's a free version of it, but you're going to be scrolling and you're going to be like, I like that frame so much better. It's worth $9.99. And if you use it as much as I do, It's definitely worth it. But next time we get together, if I ever get to see you in person again, we can play with your Android and see.
Yeah, that sounds good. I may have to look into some of the other apps too, maybe for Android that work really well. I looked into a few, but they do charge, and I done the same thing. I wanted the ones that were, of course, better, and they were charging for. So
why don't you ask in Success Club if Android users like Over, and if not, what else do they use? Okay. Oh, and Donna just said it's a tax write-off.
Nice. Okay.
You're gonna need some write-offs this year with that $15,000 bonus
Yes.
for sure. Yeah, all
Yay.
that stuff, all that my Zoom account, everything, all the apps we use. If you pay for them at all, are a tax write-off. So keep up with all that.
I'll do it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, I'm gonna go eat some biscuits. Are you jealous, Donna? I'm eating biscuits. No, you got cake. You're not jealous. I'm jealous of you.
Girl, I had grilled drumsticks with pork chops.
Yum.
Hey, what else we had?
Hot dog.
Hot dogs and chili. We had like a smorgasbord of
You had all
leftovers.
that today?
Well, no.
Yeah. Yes.
I remember this one time our power went out for 3 days and we just had to cook all the meat. So we had a meal like that one time.
Well, it's keto friendly.
Yeah, it definitely is. Hey, Mike.
Hi, Jen. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, thanks.
You're still working, right? You're not going stir crazy like the rest of us.
Yes and no. I'm still working, but I still go stir crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not going doing.
yeah, weather related. My work's weather related, so
Yeah.
If it
when
like,
it rains, I'm home.
yeah, I was gonna say when it's raining, it changes the moisture content of what he hauls.
Yeah.
So then it, well, I don't know why I'm getting this. And
I can hear you. I see you. Now.
anyway, so when he gets it to the delivery place, they check the moisture, and if it,
Oh, gosh. So you may deliver it and they won't take it?
Right.
That stinks.
That's correct. Is that homemade biscuit you got?
Well, Lord, no, they're wampum biscuits is what we call them because you wump them on the counter.
we're still recording, so we're
That's
gonna be
okay.
talking about Walt
That's
biscuits.
okay. Those people in Missouri need to know about wampum biscuits too. I got these awesome frozen biscuits that were just like homemade called Mary B's.
Mary
Yes.
B's. Mary
Yes. And I did those the last time for the kids because one of their favorite things is breakfast supper.
Yes.
And Jake hated them. And I asked him tonight, did they want breakfast? He said, not if it's them same rolls as last time. So
Now, I
I
like me some Walt biscuits every now and then.
yeah. I mean, they're
Especially-
fine, but I like the others better.
Well, I do too, because they're more like homemade. But I used to remember getting the ones that were the layers, and you peel the layers off, and eat them that way.
Yeah.
All right,
Awesome.
I wanna go
Hungry
back and
Jack.
watch-
Huh?
I want to go back and watch this and make some notes.
All right, I'm ending. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.